So when it comes to the whole conversation around healing your hormones with food, I think one of the important things that we need to remember is eating in general is important. Eating frequently, not skipping meals. We need to be keeping our blood sugar stable, not just waking up and drinking our super sugary coffee first thing in the morning. Try to eat something before that. And especially something I've been focusing on is making sure I'm having a good breakfast, not just eating something, but getting protein in there. I don't love eggs, but I've been eating eggs a lot more lately. Getting your protein, getting some veggies in for breakfast, and just a really good breakfast really changes the game for me. Honestly, I feel a lot better. It's just nice when you're not hungry already at 10 a.m. Yeah, that's just kind of a little reminder. Do what you can to start adding more protein in, because when it comes to hormone health, we can't ignore just the base things that our body needs, because reproduction is a luxury, which means our fertility is the last piece of the puzzle. We need to make sure all the rest of the pieces are in place. We're hitting our protein needs, our fat needs, carbs, all of those essential nutrients, macronutrients and micronutrients. And if you're not doing those things, then don't even worry about the little things. Focus on the big picture things that are really, really important and vital and necessary for your body to function in general, and then move up to the little things, the supplements and whatnot. But yeah, just a reminder there. When I was here, falling like tears, you say you came. You didn't, don't have to pretend that you want me, 'cause you don't care. I don't need friends near you. Sometimes what I'm eating is not super impressive, but one of the things that I like to do as well is just switching things out for healthier versions. So I use avocado oil and olive oil for all my cooking, and pay attention to the smoke point on the bottle when you buy it, because the higher the smoke point, the better. It's telling you roughly the point where that oil is starting to break down and kind of be transformed into something else and something not so good typically. So just keep an eye on that as well. But yeah, for lunch today, I'm just having my homemade macaroni with no butter and an egg casserole that are, again, leftovers. Oh, also strawberries. And from Aldi's, I do all my shopping at Aldi's. This is basically a Poppy or Olipop Aldi version, cheaper. This is $1.69, and it's strawberry vanilla, so good. This is pretty much the supplements that I've been taking. Magnesium, Vitex fruit, especially for my period. And as my period gets closer, I'm probably going to, I keep just taking one of these, but I'm gonna take 2 of these. That's actually the serving size. I don't know why I'm weird about that. I just take 1, but the serving size is actually 2. So I'll bump it up to 2. It just, money. It costs money, and so whatever. Vitamin D, I kind of take that on an as-needed basis. If I know I'm not getting any sun and I'm not eating salmon, then I basically take it. Zinc, pretty sure I'm deficient, and it's good for your immune system. Colostrum, good for your gut health, your immune system, better absorption of nutrients, which is important. I add this to my coffee, which I'm gonna do, and I add collagen to my coffee as well. It's important though that you don't add colostrum to something that's really hot. I mix all my other stuff in my coffee first, like this, because the collagen needs it to be hot to dissolve. Well, this stuff does anyways. But the colostrum needs to be in something cooler, just to really retain the potency and whatnot. You don't want to put it in something really hot. So after I put the creamer in my coffee, then I put this in, and you just need like the frother because otherwise it won't mix very well. But yeah, these are basically the supplements that I've been taking. You don't want supplements to you don't want to be relying on them, but there are times where you need them to sort of fill in the gaps. So, but whole foods as much as possible. I've been taking superfood honey. It's basically just some really good honey. It's got the propolis, bee pollen, good source of B vitamins, good stuff here. This is good whole food type of supplement. So is the colostrum. Cause you don't care, I don't need friends. Near you, if I tell you something, I can live without you. But I always say that I don't want to, cause I'm really stuck. Okay, so today's lunch consists of this kind of sad looking salad. It's spinach and just some like deli turkey because that's what was doable for me. When I was packing lunch yesterday, an apple, some homemade salad dressing. This is, let's see, it's made out of, I don't know how to pronounce things, Dijon mustard, avocado oil, apple cider vinegar, and I just put Italian seasoning in there. We'll see how that turns out. I packed very light. I'm gonna be hungry. I also just have this fruit strip, and I'm sipping on V8 Energy. There are 80 milligrams of caffeine from black and green tea. I find that my body handles this better than coffee. So there's also only 10 grams of sugar, which is amazing. There's B vitamins in here, vitamin C, a little bit of potassium, vegetables, fruit. It's a pretty good, when it comes to an energy drink or coffee, I feel like it's a good alternative for me because I'm not a tea person. I don't like drinking tea, and this is basically juice. So that's my go-to right now. But yeah, normally I would pack a little bit more for me. But I only work until like 2, so I can go home and eat a nice snack. So yeah, that's lunch today. The steering wheel is just gonna be in the way. Let's ignore that. So I tried my homemade salad dressing. I kind of dumped way too much on it. Let's just say it's got some spice. It's got some kick. I'm not a fan, to be honest. I think I put way too much of that mustard. I've never had that Dijon mustard or whatever. So maybe that's where I went wrong. There's a car right by. Okay, that's awkward. Yeah, not sharing this recipe because yeah. Okay, so breakfast this morning, I already ate some of it, so ignore that, but it looks delicious. If you are using whole foods to make a meal, like eggs like this, and it is colorful, that's a good sign. It means you've got nutrients packed in there. So I have 2 eggs in here, some mild cheddar cheese, we've got spinach, and bell peppers. Bell peppers are actually a good source of vitamin C, which I didn't realize. So if you're not a huge fan of the citrusy stuff, oranges, orange juice, that's a good alternative. It's also something good that you can stick in there, like pretty much for any meal. Fun fact, leafy greens are a good source of vitamin K. Spinach is just great. I love that you can add it in anything, and there's not a strong flavor, unlike kale, because I won't eat kale. It's disgusting. Something that I have realized that I'm going to be working on like in real time, and I've known this, but coffee does not sit well with me, and honestly any caffeine, even my V8 energy drinks, even if it's not a ton of caffeine, I get anxiety. The caffeine is elevating kind of my baseline anxiety. So I'm gonna be drinking decaf from now on, or just, no coffee. But I'm kind of in the routine where I add my collagen and my honey and colostrum to my coffee. And so I just wanna keep taking those things. So I'm just gonna be drinking decaf to make sure that all those things are still happening. So one of the things that I wanted to make sure that I mentioned is caffeine intolerance and estrogen dominance. So if you struggle with caffeine, if it seems to just take forever for your body to get rid of it, you feel the effects for a long time, you can't drink very much without feeling really jittery, and you get that just like not so good side of caffeine. If you experience that, you may have caffeine intolerance issues. And the thing is, this is interesting. So your body gets rid of caffeine the same way it gets rid of estrogen. And it's really, really important for our body to get rid of estrogen because our body is continually producing estrogen, especially at certain points in our cycle. And we can't just keep that in our body. We need to get rid of it. So our liver breaks it down into a way that our body is able to excrete. And the way that it does that, the enzyme that is used to do that, it's the exact same way that your body breaks down caffeine to excrete it. So if you already have caffeine intolerance issues, then you may also be at risk at having estrogen dominance issues because your body is probably also going to be struggling to get rid of estrogen. So if you're worried, honestly, about either having estrogen dominance or having caffeine intolerance issues, I definitely recommend either cutting back on it or fully just cutting it out. That's what I have been doing lately. I know earlier in this video I was actually talking about how I'm drinking a BA energy drink instead of coffee, but I decided to just cold turkey cut it all out because I'm very sensitive to it. And my cervical fluid observations this month were really indicating high estrogen. So I just really want to do what I can to support that. So that's just another thing that I'm doing. It ties into like what I eat, sort of. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. When I was here, feeling like tears, you say you came. You didn't. Here's the deal. I know I've already talked about this, but I cannot stress enough. If you are having painful periods, you should take magnesium. I just got this from Walmart. I don't remember how much this cost, but it is magnesium glycinate, which is the kind that you want. You don't want to get the citrate. You can get that. That's typically like the cheapest kind. If you've seen the powder, that's like the calm powder that you like mix in a drink. That is the like magnesium citrate. It might give you a bit of diarrhea. It depends. It affects everyone differently. And if you need a bit of a laxative effect, then it could be helpful. Honestly, it's not affected me at all, but just something to keep in mind. But magnesium, I am especially focusing on it around my period because magnesium is really helpful for your muscles to work properly and contract properly and not contract too much, cramping, you know. Most people, I will probably pop something on the screen, but there's a large percent of people who are deficient in magnesium, so it is likely that you are deficient too, but I'm not a doctor, so take everything with a grain of salt. I support. I have seen change, so. If you are not already drinking electrolytes, you need to start doing it because I have been experiencing headaches a lot and migraines, and honestly, electrolytes have helped a ton. Now, I'll still get like just a stress headache from like kind of shoulder tension, but when it comes to, I don't know, I feel like I'm starting to know the difference between like a headache because I need electrolytes. So the way that I do this is I get aloe juice, and this is my aloe juice from Walmart, and then I get another juice that's high in potassium. I'm trying to think, I think cherry juice I had got before, cranberry juice. You can look and just look at how much potassium they have in them, but I mix those two together, and then I don't like buying something expensive. I think we're going to try the element electrolytes, but honestly, we're doing great value right now because it's very comparable to like liquid IV. There's no artificial sweeteners. So I do half a packet of this mixed in with my little aloe and cranberry or cherry or whatever juice. And I try to drink that every day. If I don't, I usually end up with a headache and then I end up drinking it. And it does help a lot because I don't want to be taking ibuprofen all the time between painful periods and headaches. And electrolytes are so important because if we are trying to heal our body, we need to like zoom out and just say, okay, if I want a healthy body, I need healthy cells, right? And if you were listening in science, you know about like sodium potassium pumps, right? Very important for our cells. And sodium potassium pumps kind of need sodium and potassium, which is in electrolytes and in things like celery juice, aloe, all these different juices that you can find whole sources of. But yeah, super important, and it's definitely one of those like base things that you should be doing. I'm trying to focus on more vegetables. I don't know why I have in my mind that I should only eat like this many vegetables, you know. Lots of vegetables, lots of protein, because our body needs it. And vegetables, especially a colorful plate, is a good source of all kinds of different vitamins and fiber. To get rid of excess estrogen, you need fiber. It helps, you know, so you're pooping regularly. You need to be able to be doing that to get rid of things. And fiber is really important for your liver to be able to do its job. And your liver is responsible for getting rid of too much of your hormones. When your hormones need to go, that's your liver's job. So we need to do what we can to support it. I do not believe in detoxes. I will never tell you about detoxing. I will tell you how to support your body's natural detoxification process. Because every time you sweat, every time you poop, every time you pee, your body is detoxing. So, yeah.